Hi, welcome back. So I'm going to show you guys a quick breakdown of how I make my mozzarella cheese stuffed meatballs. And then I'll kind of show you some videos as we're progressing of how they come together. And then in the description section, I will break down the price of these meatballs and you can see what it costs per person. So I have all my ingredients kind of laid out here so that I'm prepped and ready to go. And this is coming from that bulk hamburger that I purchased earlier. I'm gonna break it into about fifths. I'm being a little bit generous with this first portion because I wanted about 1.5 pounds for these, and there was about 5.5 pounds in here. So after I take away the 1.5 pounds, there will be 4 more pounds of hamburger in here for several more meals. So I'm just gonna take out the hamburger and just get it in my bowl here, and then I will portion that all off and put it back in the fridge in individual bags for later. So I have my hamburger in here. Then I take like a piece of older stale bread. This time I happen to have kind of an older stale hamburger bun. So I'm just going to kind of break this up a little bit and get that in here. And this is just gonna add like good moisture to the meatballs and kind of a good binding. And so then after I get this all kind of crumbled up in here, it doesn't have to be specific, then I am going to add a splash of milk. I'm not super specific when I cook, but I would say I'm probably doing maybe 1/4 cup of milk in there. And then 2 eggs. And then quick wash. You don't have to get me washing my hands. Wash my hands one more time, and then I'm gonna season them up. And I like to do salt. I like to season them liberally. You like that sound? ASMR?
No, I like salt.
Oh, you like salt? He's nodding. He's like, yeah, more salt. A little granulated garlic. And again, just go with it. Some granulated onion or onion powder.
And more salt.
Oh, and a little bit more salt, Roar is saying. Okay, I like lots of onion flavor.
I like lots of salt
Do you
flavor.
like lots of salt? And what about garlic? Should we do a little more garlic?
Yeah.
This is how I cook. Sorry, guys. I am not a chef. How's that? Good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So then we've got all those. I'm going to set those aside. Now it's time to get dirty, and that's why I wash my hands, of course. And so you're just going to kind of combine this all. And Roar likes that sound, I'm sure of it, right? So I'm just mixing it all up, and look at how kind of moist and juicy that is. Roar hates the word moist, don't you? He's cringing a little bit. So they are kind of wet. They're a little bit of a wetter meatball, and that's okay because they're gonna soak up lots of good sauce when we do it. So then after I get it all combined, all right. Now, what you can do, if this is your first time making them and you're like, I don't know how much salt she likes, I don't know what I like for seasoning, you could make up like a little patty and just fry it up real quick and then taste it and see if you like that flavor. I've made them enough that I kind of know what I like. Okay, so then you can see it's a big bunch of meat in there. So this will make quite a few pretty large meatballs. So what I do is I take just kind of a little portion here, and then Roar, can you kind of push in on our... So I took some mozzarella cheese and I just cut it into chunks, and I'm just gonna take one chunk, place it in the middle. I've preheated my cast iron skillet here, got a little bit of oil in there, and so I'm gonna make pretty good sized meatballs. Can you see how big that is?
Yeah, that's pretty big.
I mean, I have little hands, but, so I'm gonna make up some pretty good sized meatballs. I'm just gonna get them sauteing in a pretty hot skillet. And then I'm gonna let those go until they're browned completely on the outside, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the sauce. Okay, so we're back, and so I wanted you to take a look at the meatballs. What I will tell you about making these is they're super, super wet, and so that means that they kind of fall apart as you're kind of flipping them around, and that's okay. They're worth all the swearing, because, yeah, my husband has heard me do a little bit of swearing when I've made these the first couple times, but it's all worth it in the end once you eat them. So what I'm doing now is I just grated in about 1 carrot, and now I'm doing maybe about 1/2 of a green pepper and just grating that in. Just be careful you don't get your fingers. So I'm gonna finish that later. And then I'm gonna do about 1 stalk of celery, and I'm just gonna go ahead and grate that in. And what that does, it just adds really good flavor. It makes it taste like it's been cooking all day without having to do the all day cooking. Now don't worry, as you're shredding up your celery, it kind of gets stringy, that's okay. And I'm just gonna finish that. Doesn't it smell so good in here, Trinity? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yum. Now, when we took a little break too, what I did was I preheated my oven to 350 degrees because these are gonna finish in the oven. All right, so we've got a lot of really good celery there and the carrots and the green peppers, and that way we're just getting some more nutrition into the meatballs. Then I'm gonna take my jar of marinara. I did squeeze in a little bit extra of garlic too because you can just never have enough with this. So I'm going to just add my can of sauce. I'm gonna fill it up maybe about 1/4 of the way. You don't have to fill over here. With water and just kind of like shake out the rest of that sauce and thin it up, because in the oven it will thicken up quite a bit, and we want lots of good sauce to put on our spaghetti when we're done. So while this is cooking in the oven at 350 degrees, I'm gonna go maybe about 25 minutes on this. And while this is cooking in the oven, then I'm going to make a pot of spaghetti. So I'm gonna boil up some water, throw a box of spaghetti in there, and cook it al dente, and then I will show you what it's all looking like when it's done. We'll put a still shot of the recipe when it's all done, and then in the comments below, like I said, I'm just gonna do the breakdown of like the per serving cost. But I wanted to show you, come on back here, Trinity. So this is what it looks like when it goes in. I just kind of cover up all those meatballs. I ended up getting about 11 meatballs out of that much meat. They're big meatballs. So this is what it looks like when it goes in. The reason I use a cast iron skillet is so that I can throw it in the oven. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, you might want to, are you going back and forth? Yeah. You might want to just do like a casserole dish or something. So after you brown them up, then you would take them out of the pan, put them in a casserole dish, and then do your sauce separate with the veggies sauteed up in there, and do that separate. So I'm just gonna bake it like this, uncovered, about 25 minutes at 350 degrees, and then I will show you guys how I finish it off and what we're gonna plate it up with. So, see you soon. Okay, we're back. These have cooked. Look how good they look. See, they're ooey and gooey. And so, what I did was I used the rest of those little bits of cheese and I just shredded it on top after they cooked. And I cooked up a full box of spaghetti. It says it's 8 servings, but we know that we're probably gonna, you know, all eat an entire box, right? So I cooked those al dente, so I'm just gonna plate it up. So I'm gonna do some noodles first.
Yum. Yum.
Just kidding.
I love noodles.
Yeah, I put a little bit of butter on the noodles so they don't stick, but obviously I need
butter. Yeah, butter's my favorite food.
So,
especially salted butter. Salt and butter are my favorite food, especially, and salted butter is my
okay, are you filming this up? Okay, and so then I'm gonna scoop up a meatball and get it on there. Do you want 1 or 2?
1.
Okay, so this is like a good kids portion. Check that out. How'd that look, Roar?
That looks delicious.
Are you ready to eat it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this all portioned up, and then I'm gonna don't push in on me. I said focus on me, buddy.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna get these all plated up. I'm gonna put the math in the comments below, and you guys try it at home and tell me what you think. Thanks so much. Bye.